A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. Tank Spencer, Jeremy Green with you. It is a Thursday morning.
Son of a bitch!
God, I mean, as soon as I try to be a little bit just good God.
I got too much stuff going. I got too many screens.
And this is what I get. This is look.
I'm like a child with lazy parents. They gave me too many screens, and I don't know what's on all of them.
It's like the best meme I've seen all day since everything that happened yesterday. And there's a mute button on.
I've hit it 3 damn times. The rent is too damn high.
Is the best meme that I've seen since yesterday. Is our 7-day trial of 2021.
It's
I'm
expired
done.
and
I'm done.
out.
I'm
Yeah,
out.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Let's not do this anymore.
Nope.
Oh, we all need to take a break. We all need to take a breath.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of sports to talk about, but I'm going to make jokes. I had one earlier about Winnie the Pooh eating Piglet.
Which was pretty good. It is the Sportsocracy. Be sure to like, share, and follow the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Green. You know how this works. Be sure to, like I said, like it, share it, and follow it on all the social medias. We are live from the Wicked Weed studio here in Woodford, North Carolina. And don't forget to visit our good friends at Wicked Weed at wickedweedbrewing.com. You can not only stop by the establishments, the 4 locations around the Asheville area, but also order online. That is available as well. wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Yes, things got weird yesterday.
Yesterday escalated quickly.
Yeah, things got weird yesterday, and the one thing that I do not want to talk about is politics.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I got some spicy takes for you.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have your spicy little takes, and we've got everyone making their grandstands on social media. I tell you, I can't do it. I can't even open up Facebook or Twitter or anything for more than 5 seconds before I go, oh, we're back here again.
I do. I want to make a public service announcement, Brian. But put my
yes,
camera.
sir. Got you.
If you can't figure out how to use the word "there," you probably are not entitled to fix the nation's problem. Theoretically. If you can't figure out there, and they are, you're out. Disqualified.
It's been a complete fever swamp, and so we're not doing it today. We've got NFL football to look forward to. We got the end of the year coming with.
Hey, we got a snowstorm to look forward to
no,
too.
God, don't! And why are you trying to pile on?
Oh, it's happening. I mean, we have already canceled the show for tomorrow. We're going to sit at home on our sleds and do stuff. I don't know what you do in a snowstorm as an adult.
Alcohol.
Yeah, you get plastered.
Do the same thing during a snowstorm that you did as a kid. Why not? You can't go sledding? Are you too good for sledding?
I never did.
Yeah, that's obvious. Here we go. I know. Hey, does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah.
I grew up in Gitmo over here.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm and we never sled. No, we don't sled.
I was an only child.
Dad never bought me a sled, and he told me
No,
if I wanted to try to do it,
he bought me a sled, 100%. I just didn't want to use it. It's cold, it's wet, and I don't like it. Straight up. If I wanted to get cold and wet, I'd take a cold bath. I don't do that for a reason because it's stupid.
Mm-hmm. Go outside, make a snowman, have a snowball fight.
What's that?
Sled.
That was what I was trying to think. Was that Frozen?
Yeah.
Do you want to build a snowman? No, I don't. I'm not in the fucking least, actually.
You do kind of remind me of Olaf.
You make some snow cream? You ever had snow cream?
The hell do you think? God. I don't like cream in my coffee. Why would I put it in something that fell from the sky and landed on the ground?
You don't take the parts that land on the ground. You just scoop from the top.
It all landed on the ground. All of it. It all landed on the ground.
It's not true.
It's fit. Where did it land?
On
Did
top
it hover?
of the other snow.
Did it hover in midair?
It landed on top of the other snow. Just never eat the yellow snow. You know that, right?
I don't eat any snow because it fell from the sky.
Oh, man, your childhood continues to amaze me. Of just all of the things that you never experienced. But the answer to that is yes. You continue to do the same things in a snowstorm as an adult that you did as a child. You'll find more joy in life.
Drink heavily and smoke heaters in the garage.
The only difference... Is that what you did as a child?
Yeah.
That's what Jeremy was doing when it
much.
snowed as a child. He was 11 years old, just sitting in his garage with his dad drinking shots of whiskey and burning each other with cigarettes.
No, Dad doesn't smoke. Dad doesn't smoke. That was just me.
Oh, God. No, but the difference is you just do it while you're drunk.
Yeah.
And that makes the snow much more enjoyable.
Just make sure you got some insurance.
I mean, I fully plan on getting on spending the next 3 days just getting housed.
And no one was shocked by that.
Hey, I was supposed to take an alcohol sabbatical for the first month of the year until I take a vacation at the end of the month, and that is not looking like it's going to happen.
In other news, water is wet. And the sky is blue.
Dilly dilly.
Good God.
Definitely.
Oh, man, you look across the news feeds today, and it's a whole lot of NBA.
It's a whole lot of politics, and I just don't want to.
Yep, politics and
Hey,
NBA.
on the bright side, I won a lot of money last night on DraftKings.
Oh, well,
So,
good for you.
There's that.
Good for you.
We will be starting to do some more DFS things as time goes on, because the winter months get a little lean. A whole lot of does Pete Rose belong in the Hall of Fame? I'll take your answer off the air.
You love having that conversation. Or
Hey,
at least
Paul?
that fake conversation in your head.
Well, that's because that's what the Paul Feinbaum show turns into. Paul, we heard you the first 3 times. Dumbass, go ahead. Just because you can't hear yourself on your radio does not mean we can't hear you. There's this thing called a delay.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to that show, I swear to you, I told Stake this the other day. If they called me and said you can fill in for Paul Feinbaum forever, you can have his show, but you have to keep the build of it exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
My response would be very simple. Or you could take me out in the parking lot and beat me in the head with a hammer until I stop bleeding. Because that's what I would rather do.
It's just it's the original Facebook. It's those caller-driven shows are. It's the original Facebook.
Look,
Everybody
the
has
people that
their
watch
show.
our shows in the comments, they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that once you get past that nucleus of smart, then you get into, Paul, what do you think about that 3-star recruit that Kentucky just signed? I'll take your answer off there. First time, long time. Click. And you can hear them talking in the background because they wanted to hear their voice on the radio.
Right.
Like, I made it. Hey, honey.
Yep.
Bring out the good liquor.
It is one of the glories.
All my mom.
It is one of the glories of radio. There will
Heard my
always
voice
be
on
people
ESPN.
wanting- Yep. It's a badge of honor for some people.
Yeah, me too.
But it does kind of shock me to find out that the Phoenix Suns are one of the best teams in the NBA right now.
Yeah, the NBA makes 0 sense. And here's what does make sense. In my NBA picks this week, I'm 6-2. And I'm up a considerable amount in DraftKings. So, I am obviously paying way more attention to the NBA than I want you to know I am.
Right.
I don't know why, but mainly because I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you want the first 2-3 weeks of the NBA breakdown in a nutshell. Nikola Jokic is real good. The Denver Nuggets haven't been all that great, and most of the teams you think are going to be in the playoffs haven't really even started the season yet.
Right.
The Clippers struggled last night with the Warriors. That should tell you everything you need to know.
But are you underselling the Warriors? I mean, they do
no.
have one of the best players.
No,
in
and
the
if you
NBA.
didn't see Steph Curry hit a 3 last night and just glared at the bench like, that's how you do that! It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
But it's an even record right now for the Golden State Warriors. They're in the middle of the pack. You got so many teams that, like you said, it's early in the season. I don't feel like they're trying yet. And so why should I try?
One of my claims to fame is that I once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. That's a thing that happened.
Good for you.
Ask how many points he scored on me.
How many
It
points
was
did he
a
score on
hell
you?
of a lot more than 6.
You counted. I know you did.
34.
34 points.
I was a net minus 28. Good for me.
Wait, you were the sole defender
I wasn't the only one. but
against Steph Curry?
I wasn't the only one. I mean, we all tried.
I mean, it seems like a hell of a mismatch.
It didn't quite go in my favor. Notice he still hasn't asked what the score of said game was, because I know that too.
What was the score of the game?
100 to 12.
To 12. So you had half your team's points.
I was heat check green that day.
Each check.
I was 2 of about 106.
Nice. Just went team gets mine.
Yeah. I mean, you can assume, if you've watched this show for more than 10 seconds, you can just assume on a basketball court, I was full on team gets mine. My 2 favorite words in the English language are my first name and my last name. So, just assume there wasn't a lot of defense played necessarily. There was a whole lot of, hey, y'all watch this. They left me open at 29 feet and backboard. Shit.
Nice.
Backward.
Good job.
All right, let's talk about actual sports that, happened recently.
Actual sports that happened recently.
Or could happen sometime soon. I have this fear we're going to descend into politics, and I'm getting more and more nervous as time goes on.
Nobody's getting close to that mark. I'm sorry you
Patrick
feel
Cole
that
would like
you
to
are.
talk about the Washington rotation of quarterbacks this weekend.
Yes,
The
let's do
Washington
that.
rotation of quarterbacks this
Yes.
weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in the sportsocracy. It is the Democratic Republic of Sports where you can have your say. And we will talk about what you want to talk about.
Yes, post them in the comments. If my computer will ever work, I'll get there and I'll see them.
Washington's idea of rotating quarterbacks this week is one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. I don't care that Alex Smith, you're scared of the leg and he's been having problems. I don't care. You cannot go into a playoff game going, yeah, that's a good idea. I think we'll just rotate them out. I mean, because they're really interchangeable parts at this point. I mean, it's Alex Smith and Taylor Heineke.
Hot.
Yeah.
Stop that.
What's the old adage? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none.
Right.
Right there. Right there.
I disagree with you
Okay.
Oh!
because Alex Smith scares me, and I don't want to see him get hurt again.
Okay.
He's without a doubt your best quarterback, but Taylor Heineke did look like a living, breathing NFL quarterback the one time they let him play. Mm-hmm. And he has started games in the past. I'm not saying he's good. You know what he's better than?
Dwayne Haskins.
Bingo. He's better than Dwayne Haskins.
That's not saying a whole lot.
I don't disagree with you. And in a playoff game, it's going to be gross. This is why you don't let in 7 teams per conference.
Well, they would have made it anyway.
Not if you took away the stupid divisions like I want you to do.
Well, we know that's not going to happen. Adding the 7th team is not the reason that the Washington football team is in this. But I think it's a dumb idea. I don't think that you can have any kind of stability as an offense if you're interchanging quarterbacks every other drive.
I'm getting more and more afraid that this is going to become a thing. I mean, Pittsburgh just did this last week with Josh Dobbs and Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, but at that point they kind of had to. I don't know that the Washington
Why?
football team is in a have to.
So
mode.
why did they have to?
Well, they wanted to stay competitive, and they knew Mason Rudolph wasn't going to be the sole answer to them being competitive.
Okay, then why do you keep letting him come back in? All right, if he's not unanswered, then why does he keep coming back in? Just go with Josh Dobbs. If it's that clearly so much better with Josh Dobbs, then just leave him in.
It's not that much better. It's just that it doesn't last very long. Mason might be good for 3 plays, and then, we got to give him a different look. Let's put Josh Dobbs in there. Oh, we need to throw the ball? All right, Mason, you go in there. I mean, this would be like somebody having, Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. Well, we just want to run when this guy's on the field, and we'll just pass when this guy's on the field. It doesn't really work that way. It's pretty easy to game plan against, right? You know exactly what's coming. It's like we talked about with the, who was it last year that was so notorious for this? It was the New England Patriots. Sony Michel and James White. Remember? They would rotate the running backs in, and what would happen? As soon as they come in on Sony Michel, they go, oh, look, they're going to run the ball. Let's load the box on them. And then when James White comes in, it's probably a pass, guys, because he only plays on passing downs.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the same.
Between the tackles and save his life.
It's the same way with quarterbacks.
Well, I feel like if Alex Smith is healthy, you play him. If there's a doubt that he's
And they
going to
will.
get hurt, then why is he even playing in the first place?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If they felt really good about Alex Smith, we wouldn't be talking about this. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we all know he's not 100%.
Of course.
If he was 100%, this wouldn't be a discussion.
Of course.
And you're going to have to do something to score because your offense is not particularly good. You got to get the ball in Terry McLaurin's hands. You got to get it in Antonio Gibson's hands because that's and Logan Thomas. That's the three playmakers you have. I think defensively you're going to make hay against Brady. It's just a question of can you score. All right, so you hold them to 17. Can you score 17 points against this team?
I don't know.
That was not a rhetorical question.
What? Can we score 17 points against this team? I'm sorry. I got locked into the comments again.
For him, it's already snowing in his head.
I thought you were just making a rhetorical point. I didn't realize you were asking me if I thought we could score
No,
17
that's
points.
how this works. That's how the show works. You say things, I say things. You say things back to the things that I said. I say things back to the
I didn't realize it was a question directed at me. Yes, the answer is yes.
Oh, I was
absolutely.
Apparently he thinks I was asking it to my computer or to the wall. Phenomenal.
No, yes, absolutely. We could score 17 points against this team. We could score 17 points against this team in the first quarter.
All right, now that I've let you ramble on for a minute, I'll correct the fact that you're answering a question I didn't ask. I asked if the Washington football team could score 17 against Tampa Bay.
Oh, maybe.
There you go.
We're close.
That's the question.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the Tampa offense against that
No,
defense.
see, that's when you pay attention, good things happen.
Well, and then Chase Young won.
I'm not gonna lie, we probably should have set the expectations lower after 2-3 day weeks in a row. We probably should not have thought we could have come back to doing 5. Thanks, snowstorm.
We'll just slowly ease our way in.
And then we had White House down last night. So,
Oh gosh.
kind of slowed the old sports world down.
Yeah, it is very helpful to score more points than the other team.
Yes. You want to play good, you try to play good. I think you play pretty good.
It's one of those things that you got to do to play football. And in fact, I think I've heard Ron Rivera say that in a pregame before.
There's no I in the word team.
It's a pregame interview. So what do you feel about today's game? Well, we had to score more points than they do. Obviously, I don't think Washington can. I don't think either quarterback makes that possible. That's just me. You do. You think Alex Smith running this offense, they can score, I'm not going to say easily, but with regularity against Tampa Bay?
I don't think they have to score with regularity. I think they have to score a few times because I think you're only going to score a few times. If they can limit Tommy touchdowns to be Tommy field goals, then they have a pretty solid chance of winning this game.
Okay.
Because that defensive line is terrifying.
Tommy bedtime.
And that's another thing we haven't talked about. This is after Tommy's bedtime.
It is.
Matlock will have already gone off. The Metamucil will have already kicked in.
And you got the Young Bucks running all after you.
Yep. He has not played well in primetime games this year. That's been obvious. The loss to the Bears, the damn near loss to the New York Giants. Yeah. It's not been good in primetime. Got beat by the Rams in primetime. There was another one, I think. But yeah, primetime has not been good for Tom Brady. And so I am a little concerned about that, the fact that we're kicking this game off at 8:15 on Saturday night. Tommy doesn't do Saturday nights anymore. He doesn't have to. He has that kind of lifestyle where he can just go home and have all the things at his fingertips in his very own home.
Yeah. Well, he does have motivation now.
Of course he's got motivation. And
motivation.
See, that's
Extra motivation.
That's the other thing. It's normally not a good idea to poke the bear on Tom Brady. And I think that's kind of what Chase Young has done. Chase Young calling out Tom Brady after their division win. It adds a little bit of fuel to the fire.
I like it. It makes me like Chase Young so much more.
Absolutely.
God, I love when players are honest.
He's not going to shy
I
away
want
from
to
the
knock Tom Brady's brains out. Yeah, that. They're a good team and we'll play our best to beat them. If we don't play our best, then they can beat us.
Right.
And what the hell was I talking? That's the worst shit ever.
Be honest.
But Chase Young came out yesterday for the first time, and they asked him about it and said, are you having second thoughts about calling out Tom Brady? He's like,
Hell no!
no!
Let's
Why?
do this shit.
He's like, I'm the hottest rookie in the game, and I've dreamt about this moment my entire life. He was born the same year Tom Brady came into the NFL.
I wish you had just said, hell no, welcome to Thunderdome, bitch, let's do this.
But no, he said, why would I not want to play against the greatest of all time? Why would I not want to stake my flag on I sacked Tom Brady 3 times in a playoff game? Of course, he's not the kind of guy that's going to, back away from a statement like that. It's not like he was disrespecting Tom. There's nothing, Tom Brady, you're trash, and I'm going to kill you next week. No, that's not what he was saying. He said he wanted a shot at the GOAT, and he's going to get one. Now, the question is whether or not that offensive line can keep him away from Tom Brady. And it's not going to be perfect, and I don't think it's going to be, the pressure obviously is going to be relentless. It always is against the Washington football team. Yeah. And you got Tristan Wirfs and Donovan Smith that are going to have to try to figure out how to keep Chase Young and Montez Sweat at bay. Oh, and then Ryan Kerrigan in spots. I've been saying the whole time, I hope to God that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are sitting at home or, practicing at home right now with 2 tight end sets the entire game. Because you may have to need, Gronkowski and Cameron Brate on both sides of the line chipping these guys every play.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
All right, we have 2 new questions in the comments. If you have a question, please fire it away, because we are not going to talk about politics, in spite of how much one of us really wants to. All right, this was a mixture question between Adam Kotson and Stephen Taup. Who is the best player to never win a Heisman, and who is the worst player to ever win a Heisman? I will answer the latter first. Eric Crouch is the worst player to win a Heisman. No doubt. Jason White's a second, but
that was going to be my vote.
Jason White.
Well,
shit, I answered it on both sides.
Yeah, Jason White from Oklahoma.
All right, best player to never win a Heisman.
It's got to be Peyton Manning.
That was the answer Adam Kotson had. I have 2 other answers. Mm-hmm. Tommy Frazier would be my first one.
Okay.
Tommy Frazier, do you understand he went through his whole senior season and was never sacked? Never.
Really?
He was never sacked.
I did not
know that. Not one time.
They threw the ball like 4 times a game.
Yeah. They threw more than you think they did. That team ran a lot of triple option.
Yeah.
Tommy Frazier threw more than you think he did.
Yeah.
I remember that team because that was the glory Charlie Ward days of Florida State.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Frazier would be one of them. If I had to, the one I've been asked this question before on other shows I've done. Deion Sanders is the answer I can't get away from. After Charles Woodson won one, you retroactively look back at it and go, wait, if he can win one, how the hell Deion not win one? Mm-hmm. Just saying. And his helmet's right here because I love
Jim Brown.
Yep.
Jim Brown didn't win one.
It's true. Of course, the Syracuse guy said Jim Brown.
Yeah.
That was way before any of our times.
Would you like to break down Lefty Grove to their grandpa?
Hey, listen,
Jim Brown.
The question was not in the last 20 years. The question was,
who
is the best player not to win the Heisman?
Yeah, let's be honest. When people ask questions like this, they mean in the last 20 years.
Damn it.
I mean,
nobody cares about Red Grange and Paul Hornung. As don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They wore leather helmets back then. They might have been allowed to drink on the field, and I know they were allowed to smoke heaters on the sideline.
For sure.
Most of the players that are in the Hall of Fame from the 50s and 60s would look like little children next to me. Mm-hmm. I would have been Dick Butkus in 1954.
Right.
I mean, minus the fact that I can't run from here to the end of the room without almost dying.
I will never forget Jason White. It was just, to me, it was so obvious. It was so obvious that Jason White is so good because it's the Big 12 and they're overrated and they couldn't hang in with the big boys.
Do you know who finished second to him that year? And this is another guy that I think I remember this vaguely. I was a sophomore in high school, junior in high school.
Was it Leinart?
No, Leinart finished 6th. It was Larry Fitzgerald. The fact he played at Pittsburgh killed him.
Yes.
It's the whole reason he didn't win.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be on a relevant team to be in.
Jason, I forgot Jason White had 10 picks that year.
He was.
Lord, Larry Fitzgerald was good.
To me, he was a very average. I mean, he was good, obviously. I mean, for Big 12, but I'll just never forget everyone and how everything shifted that year. That was like one of my first years in sports broadcasting, and all I had heard leading up to the national championship game, it was USC and Oklahoma, right? In 2003 in the national championship. Just want to make sure I was right on that. And shit shifted in the break between the end of the regular season and the national championship game. And everybody had all year long thought USC was by far the number one team.
Right.
And then something happened where there was like this push of Oklahoma's going to make this game interesting. Oklahoma can come out and win. It's much like people do with Ohio State. And I realize that is not really that's not really much of a conversation anymore after what happened in the semifinal game this past week against Clemson. But it was much the same thing. Everybody had considered USC as the number one team in the country, and for some reason people started coming around to Oklahoma.
Oh.
And I was like, guys, you all realize that this is going to be like a beatdown of epic proportions in the national championship game. And it happened. And everybody was shocked. Like, how did you know that? Because we all knew, and y'all let the media just consume you about Oklahoma and pump them up. And I felt the same way about Jason White when it came to the Heisman Trophy.
David Smith said, fun fact, Tank wore a leather helmet in his first year of broadcasting.
Wow.
I'm glad somebody other than me noticed I said I was in high school when he said, that's when my career started.
Yeah. It's been 20 years. Just about. 18 years.
And that's why when he stands up, it sounds like a chair leg breaking. This is why I'm on a very fruit and vegetable laden diet right now. Because I have seen the ghost of Christmas future over here.
It's not a good situation that you want to find yourself in.
All right, I want to ask a question. We've
Okay.
never gotten to talk about this on the show, and since today is fun viewer participation day.
Yeah.
What is the stupidest thing in sports?
The
I want to know what
stupidest
people
thing
actually think, because I
in
want to know if people
sports.
agree with me. The
Okay.
dumbest thing that happens in sports, and to me there are a lot of them. There are a ton of stupid things that happen in the. The comments just get so. I love days like this because the comments are so good. The dumbest thing that happens in sports. Do you have an answer? And no, my answer is not baseball. Although I thought about that being my answer.
I don't know. I mean, there are several stupid things in sports.
Two people have already said what is definitively my two, which is the targeting rule in college football.
Yeah.
The way that is officiated that's the dumbest thing in college football. And I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Somebody said the blue line in hockey. Is that like
You don't know what that means.
Is that like a sale? Is that like the special line at the concession stand? The blue line special in the hockey game that comes between the second and third period
No, that's not it at
before they close?
He does this for a living. There are just days that I have to repeat that. Yes,
Kevin Vick, you win.
Soccer.
That's
Period.
the dumbest thing in sports.
Soccer, dumbest thing in sports.
The unwritten rules in baseball.
Soccer and badminton. Those are the.
Brian got it.
Unwritten rules in baseball.
Unwritten rules in baseball. If you want them to be rules, write them down. This is why you're baseball.
Oh, Brian McCann.
It's not how unwritten rules work.
David Smith said, as a Canadian, I can feel that one. Off the air for the first time, long time.
First time, long time, Colin.
I am dedicated this year. I'm going to get into hockey. I'm
Are
going
you?
to. Yes.
Are you?
And you know why? Because I absolutely refuse to get into baseball. I refuse. I will not do it. So, and I'm going to steal a Colin Cowherd line here, that as you get older, you have to prune your sports tree. because you have like a wife and children and hobbies, and you can't just sit around and watch sports all day, every day. So I can't break down box score. I can't break down the Mets box score and come on this show at 9 o'clock in the morning and go, the Mets made a pitching change in the 6th inning. What did you think about that? You remember the thing I said about being taken to the parking lot and beat with a hammer? Make that a chainsaw? I would rather do that than do what I just said. 100%, I would rather be cut in half by a chainsaw. Which I don't want to do either. Before anybody says that, like, I'll do it. I'm sure there are a few of you that are like, I'll do it. I have a chainsaw.
I'm sure Tank was
Got a big long blade on it too. Tank's whole family would have volunteered for that.
Oh,
He would
absolutely.
have came out like Leatherface coming out of the fucking barn like,
Yeah, Tank's whole family's trying to decide whose chainsaw they're going to use.
Yeah, no, I agree. Somebody said in the comments, hockey can be fun. It's fast paced. There's a lot
People
of
hit each
action.
other.
There's people hit each other. I get it.
It's fun to watch live. Fun to watch live. You get drunk. It's cold.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and they wear sweaters, which
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of.
And they get just crushed.
I am a man that likes a good sweater. I'm 2 days in a row going sweater.
If they wore
I
more
don't wear
turtleneck,
jerseys.
he'd be in.
If they were what?
If they wore more turtleneck, she'd be in.
Hey, you don't hate on a turtleneck. Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. There's a friggin' snowstorm coming there. They're Rumpeltumskin. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? My neck's going to be nice and warm, and yours is going to be cold.
It's normally pretty red, though.
Bingo. Mine?
Yeah,
Do you just call me a redneck?
I think you did.
Do you realize that I am the antithesis of a redneck?
I know it was a joke that was just...
I mean, I might talk like one.
Except for all those usernames on the QAnon websites, he's not anything near a redneck.
I might have a little country in the way I talk, but there is absolutely nothing.
I wanted to see what would happen.
You gotta say, I get called that all the time.
You sing Luke Combs songs in the shower?
100%.
Redneck.
How many times have you watched Tiger King?
3.
Redneck. Let's keep going.
Oh God.
How many times did you listen to Dick Down in Dallas?
Yeah,
Today?
that's a good one.
If you haven't heard that song, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Dick Down in Dallas, just go to YouTube, play it at 10:01. We're having fun here.
Tyler Lewis.
When asked to show you
that his name?
ID,
Tyler-
Hey, David Smith said in hockey a lot of people wear turtlenecks because, they have knives on their feet. Ah! Hockey's better than baseball.
yeah, because that turtleneck's really gonna stop the fucking blade from slicing.
It would help.
Not even close.
I'll be honest with you, I have a couple turtlenecks that would,
It's gotta steal.
it would be an impediment. I'm not going to say it would stop it, but it would certainly be an impediment. It would be a hell of a lot better than that little thin piece of skin right there. Give me a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about it. Ridiculous. Kevin Vick said it's completely ridiculous that the only professional sports team in the state of North Carolina that has a championship is the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes.
I don't know about ridiculous. I mean, have you seen the way the Charlotte Hornets have been run for 30 years?
Yeah.
I mean, Carolina Panthers, I'll give you that one. I mean, Cam Newton could learn to jump on a fumble.
Ball's on the ground!
Yeah.
Don't care.
You might want to get that, boy.
Can't reach it. Can't reach it.
Yeah, it's... I'm so glad that... by the way, Mike Whiteside said no rednecks ever worn a turtleneck. Bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo. I might be the West Virginia sportscaster, a Judy Chop, but there is no redneck in me. I can't fix anything. I drink Fireball.
Wait, you tried to say rednecks don't drink Fireball? I thought that was like IV fluid for rednecks. It was Fireball.
Might have a point there.
Okay, Fireball and Mountain Dew. I mean, I think
I don't drink Mountain Dew.
your redneck buddy ever has a heart
We
attack
don't
somewhere.
have that tap over here, but at the social we did, and I saw Mountain Dew in that cup more times than not.
Yep.
Got a point.
And I think you always called it redneck gold. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna need some redneck gold in this cup.
Bang, 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 bang.
And then he goes over to the Mountain Dew dispensary. Nice.
Nope. I drink Bang because it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Bang, bang, bangity bang.
And then it's got all your essential vitamins and such.
It does.
Nice.
That's an energy drink I can consume while I'm on this diet that's slowly stealing my will to live.
Yeah, I am. I'm with the guys in the comments as well that say, yeah, rednecks wear a lot of turtlenecks, especially under their Carhartts
Maybe.
and flannel and flannel shirts.
I'm going to be honest with you, they don't look like mine. So.
Oh, yours have like pretty pink flowers on them or something?
No, they don't have pink flowers on them, you dipshit.
I'm just saying, what sets your turtlenecks aside from every other turtleneck?
I just want to point out, and I'm not commenting on the current shirt because those are available in our merch store.
They are as well.
They're fantastic and very comfortable. But every other day, Tank dresses as if he is borderline homeless, and I'm taking shit from that guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just throwing it out there.
Pretty much.
Just throwing it out there.
I mean, he wears a sports outfit because he's a sportscaster. That's what he does for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm firmly of the belief that you're not allowed to wear a jersey in public unless you're either going to a game or you're a child.
Which we have proved already that you are wrong about that.
Every Sunday
yeah, exactly. Unless you're going
to a game.
He's going to watch the game.
Yeah,
he's going to watch a game.
Sports bar to watch the game.
Tank does it on a Tuesday to go to Home Depot.
Yes, I do.
There's a difference there.
He wants to show his love for his team.
That's
to
right.
Everybody
I do
at
that
Home
every
Depot.
day. I do it every day. I have branded Jet stuff that I wear every day.
Mm-hmm.
No jerseys.
Oh, I like what Steven Dow had to say. Worst thing I've seen Tank wear is a Red Sox jersey. 100% agree.
There's a Red Sox baseball sitting right in front of me.
Yep, there is.
Touch it the other day.
Signed by Oil Can Boyd.
The oil can boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a name for you.
Oh, are you talking shit about Oil Can Boyd?
Listen.
Come on, brother.
Hey.
He is a bigger national treasure than Otis Nixon.
Oh, snake.
I think David Smith just won comment of the day.
Oh God.
He said sportscaster wearing his jersey as if Tom's going to throw him a deep ball. Great success.
That's his dreams every single night.
I do.
I got news for you. If Tank's playing with Tom, he ain't catching shit. He ain't catching shit but that smoke from Chase Young.
Yep.
I'm all here for all that smoke.
You are correct about that, sir. How the hell did we get here?
I have absolutely no idea.
Absolutely.
And I'm
no
going to be
clue.
honest with you, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Just bounce it. We should do this more often. Just you ask us questions and we'll answer them.
Yeah. So we're gonna need someone to do that soon.
Well, hey, I can ramble on nonsensically.
Tom can't throw it deep enough.
I just made
What, to get to me?
I made a promise.
Yeah.
I made a
so.
promise to Tank. Oh,
I think even Alex Smith could throw it to me.
Because
I'm going to run about 2 yards that way and stop because I'm winded.
That doll right there could throw it far enough for Tank.
Yes.
So, I made a promise to Tank that I would not talk about politics in any
Thank
form
you.
as long as there were questions and topics and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
what else we
I feel like that's almost a dare to people of, do you want to see Jeremy lose his shit?
Yeah, let's not.
Let's not go down that path, please.
Do you want it?
No. No. No one wants to see that.
Bradley Beal scored 60 points.
Yeah, Bradley Beal had a night. That was he did a thing.
And he doesn't give a shit, which makes me love Bradley Beal. He's like, I don't care. I've had probably 5 games that are like this. He'll score, 40, 50, 60 points, and we lose every one of them. So I don't give a shit. I love that response from an athlete because it doesn't matter. If you score 60 points in a game, you still lose. What was the point?
By the way, he's had exactly 0 games like that. That was a career high for Bradley Beal.
Well, he scored 50.
He scored
times,
50
and they
several
lost.
times.
Is 50, 60? I mean, I hate to go math teacher on you here, but are 50 and 60 the same
I
thing?
think that 60
No,
is greater than 50.
But the outcome was the same. That was his point.
He plays for the Wizards, so the outcome is going to regularly be the same. Mm-hmm. As soon as the Wizards went, hey, you know what will fix us? Russell Westbrook. That'll do it. Frankly, the reason this is worth talking about is because he's the first person in the history of Russell Westbrook's life to ever score 60 points with him on the floor.
Yeah.
I want to know, how many times did he physically have to take the ball away from Russell? Like, no! No.
And Beal
Don't
steals
get to
it from
shoot that.
Westbrook and shoots for 3.
Oh, Mike Whiteside asked a question that I really want to talk about. What
Oh
are the
my
chances
God.
the 49ers get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo? I think it's 99.999%.
Absolutely.
I said this on the ESPN show the other day. I firmly believe the 49ers can get out of Jimmy Garoppolo for $2.8 million. And you know what that screams to me?
What's that?
He winds up in New England. Because since, Bill is being kind of a turd about this whole I said he was going to retire thing and dragging
He's
it out.
just doing it to make you look bad.
Yeah, he's being kind of a shit. Well, I don't know why I'm surprised. I hope he does it at halftime of the Super Bowl. He calls his own press conference and they just break it. He goes,
Breaking news.
Nice.
I'm going to retire as HC of the NEP. Boy. That's what I want to happen. Yeah, I think Jimmy Garoppolo winds up in New England. And I don't care if McDaniels is there or not. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to level with you. I'm getting less and less sure that McDaniels is going to be the coach in Houston. I think I was right about Joe Brady.
Yeah, I have a friend.
The
down in
McDaniels
Houston.
shit has gone completely silent
Yeah.
in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
I heard it yesterday morning. I have not heard another word about it, which is weird because I'm hearing things on every job except the Houston job, which is just Joe Brady and nobody else is talking about anybody.
My friend down in Houston is basically saying that that's all the chatter down there is just Brady's coming there.
So the Whiteside's follow-up question was, who winds up in San Francisco? I can't figure out a way that it's not Sam Darnold.
Huh.
I can't. Because the more I've thought about it, the Jets have to take a quarterback. They have to. For this to work the way you want it to, you damn near have to take a quarterback. Or you have to trade down aggressively.
Okay.
You've got 1 year left on the cheap deal with Darnold. You'll have to, you'll have to give him the option year, which is $25 million year after next. And I just don't see you doing that. I mean, I know you got $80 million in cap space. You could have up to $100 if that's what you so choose to do.
Right.
But at the same time, why would you do that?
I don't know why you would do that.
I mean, why would you do that? Why would you commit to? So you're not dead set on Darnold, which you can't be. I mean, I believe in the talent as much as anybody, and even I'm sitting here going, I'm not paying him $25 million. I'm not kicking in the option. If I have to franchise him the next year, so be it. But now you're playing a game of Russian roulette.
Right.
If it goes well, you wind up paying him $35 million. If it goes poorly, you don't have a quarterback in a year.
So going down that path, who they draft?
I think it's Fields. I think if they stay at 2, it's Fields. If they fall in love with, whether it's Zach Wilson or, I can't get away from Trey Jones or Lance winding up with Carolina.
So how do you feel about that?
What, Trey Lance in Carolina?
No.
Oh, how do I feel about Justin Fields? Oh, well, that's why there's alcohol in this here coffee. Oh, because the thought of having to pull for Justin Fields for the next, 5 years kind of makes me. Remember that thing I said about the chainsaw?
Yeah.
That.
That.
Justin Harvey said, does Dak Prescott finally sign with the Cowboys? Absolutely. Dak Prescott will be the first person to ever get hurt in NFL history and make more money.
Yeah.
Because the minute he went out, they were non-competitive. They weren't great with him.
Right.
Do you understand Dak Prescott threw for more yards than Tua Tagovailoa in half as many games? That is insane to me. He played 5 games and threw for more than Tua Tagovailoa did. So, yeah, I think Dak's going to get all the money.
Yeah.
All of it.
Shrunk up, dude.
40?
It could be 40.
40 million a
It
year.
wouldn't shock me. Now, the question is, how do the Cowboys figure out that money? And the answer, and I don't
It's
know.
going to be guaranteed like crazy.
There's going to be...
It's going to be 150 guaranteed.
See, I don't think it's going to be guaranteed to the
No.
level you think it is.
No,
I
he'll
think
probably
they'll
get
come off
100.
a big number, but I don't think that guarantee is going to be as high as you think it
He'll
is.
probably get 100 guaranteed.
And the bad thing is that you're going to have to restructure a ton of deals to do this.
It's going to be that long-term, like Patrick Mahomes, 10-year.
No, hell no. No, it's going to be. It's going to look more like Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
They'll get
5 years, about $40 million. Somewhere in that. It's going to be somewhere in that ballpark.
I don't
They
know.
have to.
I don't
You
know
have
if they
choice.
can. I don't know if they can get to the 5-year mark though.
Why?
Because he wants a 4-year deal. He wanted a 4-year deal before. There've been many reports that said that was the deal breaker why they couldn't come up with a long-term deal for him last offseason was because the Cowboys wanted to sign him for 5. Dak only wants 4 because if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, 4 years from now, it's projected that the cap's going to skyrocket again.
Right.
And I want more money after that.
Yeah,
so I
here's-
need that other benchmark
Here's
year.
the thing. That you're forgetting one great big thing that happened between then and now.
Just the coronavirus.
No, his leg turned the wrong fucking direction.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what that tends to do to people? I'll take the bird in the hand. I'll take the guarantee. I'll take the money that I know I'm going to get.
Right.
As opposed to playing this, roulette wheel of franchise tags and
Right.
1-year deals and shit like that.
That does make
When you look down and your foot's turned the wrong direction, that kind of makes you go, man, I wish I had some security.
True.
So I don't think that 5th year is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Deep top. Well, Dak doesn't have a leg to stand on now.
I saw that. I love you that watch this show and how just cynically fucked up you are. It is just, it's very palatable to me.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel like I'm not the most screwed up person out there.
It's a bit of a low blow, and we dig it.
And I'm good with it.
We really dig it.
Yeah.
But it's factually incorrect because he holds a lot of the cards right now.
Whoa.
He is
No, it's
able to
not.
have
It's not
a
factually
whole-
inaccurate. It's 100% accurate. He does not have a leg to stand on right now. Oh, well, he's got He doesn't have another. You said factually. If you're gonna play into the pun, then that means.
I mean, in the figurative sense, in the negotiations, he's holding all the cards, and Jerry Jones knows it. And that's why he said it the other day on ESPN radio down in Dallas. He said Dak's got a whole lot of legs to stand on in this discussion because we were god awful without him. They weren't that great with him, but that was more on the defense.
God awful without him.
Yeah, but that was more on the defense than anything, the fact that they were pretty awful with him. But look at the stats that he put up. Hell, he was the leader in NFL passing yards 3 weeks after he went out.
Well, they also were down because their defense was just...
Exactly.
Their defense was god awful.
Right. And Dak Prescott gives the Cowboys the best chance to win, and I think everybody knows it.
By the way, how have we not heard that Mike Nolan's been fired yet? This season's been over for 4 days. Mm-hmm. Like, for the love of God, you can't be planning to do that again. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you bring back the guy with the nipple rings from The Water Boy. I like... Remember that time Bobby Boy came back with a burn ball?
Oh, damn, boy.
Home and where you make it.
We get it. You like to see homos naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Nolan should have been fired by now. But
For sure.
there again, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of shocked that they were like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's staying
Okay,
in place.
we're good.
Kellen Moore decides to stay with the Cowboys rather than take the Boise State job.
That's because he got paid again. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason.
And he'll be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys when?
Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Midway through next year, if they're 2-5, that's probably what kept him around.
Yep. I think he's got a.
By the way, I'll ask you a question, and the person that sent this to me is in the comments, so I have to comment on this.
Okay.
Ohio State is now the winningest program in college football history in terms of winning percentage.
Okay.
Who's 2?
Michigan.
If you had to make a bet, who's 2? It's not Michigan.
Notre Dame.
It's not Notre Dame.
Boise State.
Bingo. Notre Dame is the second winningest program in college football history.
Whoa.
Which is one of the craziest things I've ever heard, but it makes complete sense.
Of course, it makes complete sense. They've been undefeated how many times?
I like how the guy that sent the graphic to me is the one that answered it in comments. I knew you knew that. Justin Harvey sends me some of the greatest shit and also tells me to go screw myself on
Well, he also
pretty
said in the
frequently.
comments that Justin Fields is better than Trevor Lawrence.
He did say that Justin Fields is better than Trevor Lawrence,
So-
and that makes my brain hurt a lot.
Yes.
Like, if I think about that for too long, I'm going to have to go get that hammer and go out in the parking lot because it's not true. I do want to say this. We considered doing some mock draft stuff today, but you know what? We've already done that. We're going to be doing a shitload of it.
Yep.
If you want to really know about the guys that your team's going to draft, or you know anybody that does, share the show with them because I do a lot of draft stuff between February and April. I deep dive on the draft. This has been my jam. My parents used to say I like the draft more than I like the football.
Yep.
And I don't think they're wrong.
I don't either.
I really don't think they're wrong. I love the draft. I have an obsession with the draft. We will
being right about people.
Right.
Oh God, the Chase Claypool, Michael Pittmans of the world.
I mean, it literally.
And those are just this year's. Next
6
year,
to 12.
next year there will be new little boyfriends of mine that I'm right about, and I love them, and I'll squeeze them and call George. Yep. But one thing I do have to say is we must stop this. We don't know what Jacksonville's going to do. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We've known what Jacksonville was going to do since Trevor Lawrence was a freshman in college.
Yeah.
I don't care about one game from Justin Fields. This is the reason that fans don't make great scouts. It just is.
All right, you see
because
one
fans
good
are
game.
emotional.
Yeah, you see one good game and you go, yep, he's better than Trevor Lawrence. Sorry. No, he's not. He's not better than Trevor Lawrence. Look, I was a big Justin Fields fan. Watched him in high school because he was going to Georgia, and this was going to be the guy that takes over for Jake Fromm. Oh, well, actually, he was going to be the guy that took over for Jake Eason.
Yeah.
And then Jake Fromm showed up out of nowhere. For me, anyway.
was like, Jake Fromm looks like he's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. He's going to take us to the championship.
Well, he was. He was a better quarterback than Justin Fields for that team. He was a better quarterback than him as being a junior who had already been tested as a freshman in a national championship game. More than Justin Fields coming straight out of high school.
Okay.
He was the better guy for that situation. I fully believe that. And then he goes to Ohio State and he shows, oh shit, maybe we actually made the wrong decision there. And they may have. They may have made the wrong decision. But to me, I think it fit perfectly for the team. Now, I don't think you can look at Justin Fields. I mean, there are some things that Justin Fields does really well. I mean, he's very mobile. He's very elusive. He does have a cannon to throw it down the field. And he's got downfield accuracy. He just doesn't have a whole lot of accuracy
He doesn't
on
have
the
to,
outside.
He doesn't make tight window throws. I
No.
mean, that's the thing. And I mean, I know a lot of Ohio State fans get mad at me when I say this. But if you watch the tape on him, there are things that are scary. That's the reason there are about 5 things that will just completely disintegrate a quarterback for me. And never having to make a tight window throw and not being able to do it when you're asked to is number 1. Because in a college window and an NFL window are massively different.
100%.
And I'm looking at Fields going, you're going to be on a bad team. Because now there's no chance of what I thought was going to happen of you falling to the mid-teens. That's not going to happen. You're not falling out of the top 5 now.
No.
I mean, you can come out and get beat by Alabama by 60. And they could. But you've shown enough in that one game against Clemson. You got to understand, that's not a Clemson. That's not a Clemson defense of old. If you don't believe me, look at Clemson defensive players drafted over the last 3 years. You can't lose that much talent and be the same defense. It just doesn't work that way. Now, that being said, I've heard Keyshawn Johnson and a litany of others say, well, we don't know what Jacksonville's going to do. Yes, we do. Yes, we 100% do. The only thing that could change that is if Trevor Lawrence calls them and says, I'm not playing for you. And could that happen? Absolutely. And people think I'm a homer because I thought there was no chance of that with the Jets and there is a chance with the Jaguars. You answered your own question. One's in Jacksonville, one's in the biggest media market in the world. It's not hard to figure out. And people, the Jets are a loser franchise. Compared to the Jaguars, they're the Packers.
And they're one
But
of the
Trevor
most
Lawrence
popular.
is without a doubt the number. Whoever picks at 1, whether it's Jacksonville or somebody else, that's who it is.
You look up lists of the most popular teams in the NFL, the Jets are always
top 6.
Yeah, way higher than I ever would have thought
Jacksonville's
they were.
32 on every list you've ever seen.
One is always in the top of all of these lists of most popular teams in America, and the other one is a team that they don't even know how much longer they're going to be in Jacksonville.
They could be
how much talk have we had over the last years of
them being
this?
in London.
Yeah, this will be the team that starts the international league.
And
or
by
whatever.
the way, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. That would be one of the primary reasons that I think Trevor Lawrence would go. Nope. There's no perk to that. None. And there are a whole shitload of logistical problems. If you don't believe me, ask yourself this. Why has no premier free agent signed in Toronto with the Raptors, the Blue Jays, anybody? Why? Because you get into tax problems. And you would get into tax problems doing it over there because you're going to double dip. And trust me, that does matter. It's the reason Miami gets premier free agents and Milwaukee doesn't. One, you pay astronomical state tax. The other, you pay none.
I mean, they were even talking
That does matter.
Yep.
But the net of why I brought this up, there's not a GM or a scout on this planet that would allow you to take anybody but Trevor Lawrence one in this draft.
100%.
And that's with me saying I think Penny Sewell is a generational left tackle. I think he's the best left tackle I've ever evaluated. Now Orlando Pace and Ogden and Baselli and those guys, that was before my time. But there's not been one in my 15 years of doing this that's ever been rated higher. And I still say there's not one GM on planet Earth you could convince to not take Trevor Lawrence one.
I still think, and somebody mentioned it in the comments of, the last 3 quarterbacks that came out of Ohio State didn't pan out in the NFL.
Yeah,
And I think that really does hurt it.
You have to be
your
careful with those.
prospects.
You have to be careful with those.
I don't know. They
It's
look
not an
like very
institutional
similar. They look like very similar quarterbacks.
In
to
what
me.
way?
Cardell
Because they're
Jones, Dwayne Haskins,
Cardell
Justin
Jones
Fields.
couldn't in a foot race outrun me. They're not similar at all.
Okay.
I hate when people do that shit. I really do. And it's the reason that I'll be really honest with you. And this is something and I'm not a scout. I write for scouting websites and shit like that. The thing that drives me, one of the things that drives me the most crazy is that we constantly compare white quarterbacks to white quarterbacks and black quarterbacks to black quarterbacks. And that's the only similarity. That's it. There is nothing about those two quarterbacks that is the same, except for the fact that they're both African American. And you're about the 100th person I've heard do that.
Okay.
The games are completely different. Me and Cardell Jones, there were linemen at Ohio State that outran him. That's why he was as athletic as a wet sneeze. And that's why he didn't pan out in the NFL. His arm was not that great. Cardell Jones was the definition of a guy that takes the ball and gets it in the hands of people that are really athletic, and that's all he did. And he just managed to not screw up very often. That's why he went to the XFL.
He was the backup in his XFL team.
There you go. That's the point. He wound up as the backup in the XFL because he's not that talented. Now, Justin Fields, crazy talented. The problem is there are little narrow windows there that you look at and go, God, that's not Russell Wilson. And you start doing the comps. And I found comps on Justin Fields that I'm like, well, this guy was really good, being Russell Wilson. And this guy was really bad, being every other person that I've ever compared him to. And that makes me nervous. I wasn't trying to condemn you.
No, I get it.
It happens all the time. Frankly, it's an inadvertent thing. People do it all the time.
You see the game so much more differently than I do. I mean, you see it from coaching standpoint, X's and O's, all that kind of stuff, 40 speeds and shit. I don't care about any of that. Like when I see a quarterback, I see a mobile quarterback with a decent arm and doesn't really do anything super spectacular. They go in the same class to me, and it has nothing to do with race.
No.
That's just a commonality that Ohio State quarterbacks have had.
I hear this all the time. I mean, you got to understand, I've written for 7 websites over the last 15 years. I see scouting comps, and people do that every time. And then I do one, and now I can't even remember who the 2 players were. I do a comp, and I don't do that, and I get blasted if you don't know what you're talking about. And they wound up being the exact same player.
Yep.
The exact same player.
Yep. All of them. JT Barrett. I mean, they all were fine college quarterbacks.
JT Barrett was slightly more athletic than Cardell Jones, but not by much. Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins was the most athletic of the bunch. Problem is he was immature as hell. That's actually, you want me to tell you?
And he didn't have a great arm, I didn't think. He wasn't accurate on anything.
His arm was not terrible.
Okay.
He had plus characteristics on his arm. Accuracy was not one of them. He was a net neutral in accuracy.
Net neutral, okay.
One of the things that I think does have to be discussed with Ohio State quarterbacks, and like I said, I'm not a fan of comparing. I'm not a fan of comparing guys over the years. There is one commonality with Ohio State quarterbacks, and I think it has to do with how entitled they are on campus. They tend to be immature as hell. Dwayne Haskins was immature as hell. Terrell Pryor was immature. Thank you, Rob. You're right, because I knew I was forgetting one. I just couldn't think of what. Terrell Pryor was immature as hell. Terrell Pryor had all the talent in the world. He was just really immature and made really piss-poor decisions. And that was what a lot of us knocked him on.
Right.
That was why a lot of people thought he was a receiver. And he wound up being a receiver. Because he was freak talented.
And he actually didn't have he had a couple of decent years at wide receiver, too.
He did.
I mean, he went over 1,000 yards.
Now, Troy Smith, Stephen Town just said Troy Smith. Troy Smith's the exception that proves the rule. Troy Smith was the biggest big boy in the room. Troy Smith was mature as hell. Problem was, he had a little athleticism, and he had the most mediocre arm you'll ever see in your life. And guess what? He still played in the league for a bunch of years. If you've got a good head on your shoulders, it is shocking how long and how many opportunities you'll get just by being a good presence in the room. Troy Smith was smart as hell. If I remember correctly, I think Troy Smith got a master's degree from Ohio State in the 4 years he played there. I could be wrong on that, but I know he has one. I think he finished it in the 4 years that he was playing. And that was a smart damn guy. Well, see, I told you, if we just turn on the cameras and go, what do you want to talk about? Frankly, I want to do this like once a week.
Okay.
Hell, it was just
I'm down
Wednesdays. I mean, I'm unilaterally making a decision here, but Wednesdays through the rest until football season starts back up. I think we should just have Viewer Appreciation Wednesday.
No, call it Threadbare Thursdays.
Like that.
Threadbare Thursdays, where you decide what we talk about here in the Sportsocracy.
I'm a big fan of it. The comments have been fantastic. There's been some really funny ones.
Well, we want to talk about what our people.
I think we have accidentally fallen into a really good idea, which is pretty much how I've fallen into every good idea I've ever had.
Yep, pretty much. Sometimes you just try things and they end up working.
And shit works. I like it.
Like, share, and follow the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Green. We are live from the Wicked Weed studio here in Woodford, North Carolina. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink Different will be with you this afternoon on the ESPN Asheville side. 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Green. You can hear it everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We will be back with you tomorrow morning where we'll talk NFL football. Playoffs coming up this weekend.
Picking all the games tomorrow.
Remember, as you go through the day today, breathe. Breathe. Stay off social media.
Yeah, just just do the Herman Edwards thing.
Yep.
Don't press send.
Don't press send. Just things will be better. Just let it calm. And we'll see you later.